Welcome, developers. Look, right now, the market for HTML5 games is absolutely exploding. Whether you're running a standalone gaming site, managing a massive game portal, or building some really incredible interactive experiences using engines like Phaser, Construct 3, Unity WebGL, or Cocos, the potential to earn real ad revenue has literally never been higher. But let's be honest for a second. We all know monetization can be a massive headache. You've poured your absolute heart into coding this great game, and then trying to figure out how to get paid for it without completely ruining the player experience, well, it can feel a bit like walking through a minefield. And that is exactly why in today's explainer, we are going to break down the complete official setup for H5 game ads to help you maximize your revenue seamlessly. So let's dive right into it.
Here's our exact roadmap for today's explainer. First, what are H5 game ads? Second, we'll clear up the AdSense versus AdX confusion. Third, the official ad placement setup. Fourth, interstitial versus rewarded ads. And finally, number 5, high eCPM and best practices.
All right, Section 1. What exactly are H5 game ads?
So Google actually built a specialized system exclusively for HTML5 games called the Ad Placement API. This is completely different from those normal, static website banner ads that just sit on a page. This system is heavily designed to show highly engaging formats, things like rewarded video ads and full-screen interstitials that are optimized specifically for gamers. But right now, you're probably sitting there asking yourself, wait, should I use AdSense or AdX for my game? Do I need to be manually placing old-school GPT tags, or should I be looking into custom APIs? And you know what? I completely validate your confusion here. There is so much conflicting, outdated information floating around out there, and it can really lead you down the wrong path. Let's briskly compare your two main platform options just to clear the air. Google AdSense is your basic monetization system. It's absolutely the best choice for beginners because it features a very simple, straightforward setup. Google X, on the other hand, is basically a premium advertisers network. If you've got a solid gaming audience and a lot of traffic, especially that high-tier US traffic, AdX is where you are going to see those incredibly high CPMs. So think of AdSense as your starting line and AdX as the premium arena where the serious scaling happens.
Moving right along to Section 2, the official ad placement setup.
Now that we've defined the platforms, let's look at the definitive solution. First off, avoid manual GPT interstitials. Do not use standard defined slot functions, and definitely absolutely avoid trying to duct tape custom video SDKs into your web games. The silver bullet here, officially recommended by Google, is the Ad Placement API. What makes this so unbelievably powerful is that this single API internally handles AdSense, AdX, and Premium Video Demand, all at the exact same time. It automatically decides what ad to show, when to show it, and controls the frequency, so you never have to manually manage video ads again. Here is the recommended architecture flow. It's brilliant in its simplicity. Your HTML5 game connects directly to the Ad Placement API. That API talks to Google Ad Manager seamlessly, which then pulls in that highly lucrative AdX Demand, ultimately leading directly to your revenue generation. This flow is the absolute most stable, high RPM setup you can possibly build. It basically guarantees you're getting gaming-optimized ads without the massive technical overhead.
Section 3. Implementing the official ad placement setup.
Okay, let's slow down the pace just a bit, because we're shifting from high-level theory into practical, step-by-step instructions. How do we actually implement this API into our game engines? Well, the technical implementation breaks down into 3 really simple steps. Step 1, add the official Google script to the header of your game's HTML file. And hey, when you do this, remember to swap out the placeholder text with your actual publisher ID. You can easily grab that from your AdSense account under Settings. Step 2, run the ad config function as soon as your game starts. And Step 3, trigger ad break functions for your actual ad placements throughout the gameplay. Looking a bit closer at that configuration in Step 2, when you run ad config, you are definitely going to want to pass in preload ad breaks set to on and sound set to on. That preload ad break setting, it's an absolute game changer. It silently preloads the ads in the background while the user is busy playing your game. Because of this, when it's finally time to actually show an ad, it loads instantly, which dramatically improves your fill rate. And setting sound to on simply ensures your premium video ads can play audio, making the whole experience way more engaging.
Section 4. Interstitial versus rewarded ads.
So now that the API is preloading, what ad units are you actually going to trigger? Well, you have 2 heavy hitters. Interstitials are your full-screen, unprompted ads. The absolute best strategic placements for these are natural pauses in gameplay. Think when a level is complete,
at the game over screen, right before the retry button logic executes, or maybe on the pause screen. On the flip side, we have rewarded ads. Now, these are opt-in, meaning the player actively chooses to watch them. You'll want to offer these for highly desired in-game perks, like getting an extra life, scoring free coins, unlocking a rare skin, or skipping a really frustrating wait timer.
I have to inject a little excitement right here, because in the gaming niche, rewarded ads are your absolute highest earners. No joke, their CPM is significantly higher than basic banners, and noticeably better than standard interstitials. And the technical flow is just beautiful. Check it out. The user willingly clicks the reward button. Google instantly displays the preloaded video ad. The user watches it to completion, your game's reward callback fires, and boom, the user receives their loot. It is literally the ultimate win-win for player satisfaction and your bank account.
Section 5. High eCPM and Best Practices.
Knowing how to write the code is one thing, right? But strategizing for maximum revenue, that's what separates the amateurs from the pros. So here are your essential tactics to really boost that eCPM. First, maximize your use of rewarded ads wherever it organically makes sense in your game loop. Second, understand that the highest RPM mostly comes from targeting traffic in Tier 1 countries, places like the US, UK, Canada, and Germany. Third, design your games to increase player session time. Google heavily values high retention and long session durations. And fourth, listen to me, this is incredibly critical. Never, ever interrupt active gameplay. If you throw pop-ups in the middle of a jump, use fake buttons, or show ads every 10 seconds, your retention will absolutely tank, your fill rate will drop, and you will put your entire AdSense account at serious risk. Because of that, the most crucial point is implementing what we call the production-level strategy. Let's walk through this gold standard flow together. The game starts. You show absolutely no ads for the first 60 seconds. Let the player get hooked. Then a level complete happens. Boom, you trigger a natural interstitial. On the next level, the player dies. You immediately offer a rewarded ad for an extra life. They accept it, keep playing, and then maybe 2 levels later, you trigger another interstitial. Do you see how that works? This sequence perfectly balances aggressive revenue generation with a stellar, completely non-annoying player experience.
And when we talk about ad frequency, I need you to drill this exact number into your mind: 30 seconds. Google strictly recommends a minimum 30-second gap between ads. You'll implement this via the data ad frequency hint attribute in your code. Please do not try to bypass this rule. The API is explicitly designed to enforce this pacing for the sake of the user experience.
Let's take a very quick but vitally important detour for a technical tip. If you are hosting your games inside iframes, which, let's be real, is the standard for almost every game portal on the web, you absolutely must follow the iframe rule. Both your ads by Google script and your ad break function calls must be executed inside the iframe itself. If you try to run them from the parent window, your video ads simply will not work. Period.
Just before we wrap up today, let's look at the stark contrast between long-term success and getting your account suspended. On the safe side, your recommended actions are to generously use rewarded ads, stick to those natural interstitial placements we talked about, actively encourage long session gameplay, and maintain a slick, mobile-optimized UI. But conversely, you absolutely must avoid policy violations. Never use fake rewards where the user watches an ad and gets nothing. Never engineer accidental clicks by cramming ads right next to the game controls. And never, ever use hidden close buttons. Playing games with Google's policies is just going to destroy your revenue stream. So let's bring it all together. The days of manually hacking together ad tags for web games are officially over. The Ad Placement API does all the heavy lifting completely automatically, from ad serving and X auctions to video demand and fill optimization. Literally, all you have to do is drop in the official script, trigger your ad breaks logically, and let Google's machine learning maximize your payout. So here's a final thought I want to leave you with. As web gaming continues to blur the lines with native app performance, are you building a monetization engine that actually scales with your ambition, or are you still coding in the past? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Now get out there and go update that code.